What's going down, Basement Banter Channel? Thor's Thoughts of the show. I'm back. It's on McFarlane Toys, DC Multiverse, unboxing and review. If you joined me earlier, I did get Catwoman fully on the bike, on the Bat Pod. Both knees in the spot she's supposed to be in. Oh, she fell. But both knees in the spot. She can kind of see forward. It's not too bad. Now, I gave it, if you joined me earlier on my live stream, I gave it a 6.5. So I was frustrated at the end, and I started at an 8. But I think the real number is probably a 7. But it's not perfect, and it definitely is not super easy to get her in that pose. I'll be honest with you. So if you joined me earlier, there you go. The conclusion of the Bat or the Catwoman saga and the Bat Pod. But I figured I'd jump back on, say what's going down, do some quick live streaming. Got a little box here. I might have to just get rid of her. Oh, yeah, stay over here. What do you think? No? We'll find out. We will find out. But I got a little box here. Figured to unbox it, and then I'm going to do something different than just a normal unboxing. I'm going to review all the figures inside this box live, in full effect. Knee-jerk reactions abound. Random thoughts abound. So first off, I will preference it's a McFarlane box. So it shouldn't be a shock. It shouldn't be a surprise to anybody out there that it's McFarlane toys. So, and I don't actually know what order we're going to go in here. We'll just pull them out and kind of see what order we go in, because they're the new digital McFarlane toys digital way. We got Aquaman here, the King of Atlantis. These are more of DC Classics, as you can see on the side there, DC Classics. And it's got little Aqualad, not Aqualad, what's his name? His name's something. Someone tell me. But it's Aquaman. And his head is getting ragged on heavy. And I see why. But I will say, just for the sake of argument, if you look at that head from the Power record vinyl, from the Power vinyl from 1975, and you look at the head inside this digital version, they're not that far off. They're really not that far off. They're not as far off as you would think, which is surprising. So I'm not a super big fan of this head, but I do see how if it's a DC Classic version. It's weird though, because the picture on the back of the box is a not DC Classics comic. That's not even close. And that's King of Atlantis, like early 2000s maybe. It's not Classics. So all right, next we got only the 75th copy of the Rebirth Batman suit, but we have the first that I know of comic Bruce Wayne head with that. So they got a beautiful picture on the back. It's a gorgeous blue and gray. Like, it's really classic blue and gray. I have one Rebirth Batman already. It's the 3-pack Batman with the Batwoman. So, but I think this Bruce Wayne maskless head will fit on any of your pegged head Batman that you have, right? So Hush has a peg. A myriad of other ones that are escaping me right now. Nightfall has a peg. A lot of them are pegged heads, right? So if you look at the Batman from the Spawn 2-pack or like 3 Jokers, they have the neck peg. So the neck, it's like the neck's in the shoulders and then the peg's down there. Whereas like the Rebirth Batman, Nightfall, Hush, others, they have the peg above the neck, if that makes sense. Neck, peg, neck. But so that's cool. I like the Bruce Wayne head. I really do. He looks angsty, which he should. And I like this Rebirth Batman. Now, if you build all 3 of these digital, DC Rebirth, so they nailed the actual side. But if you build all 3, there's a digital Build-A-Figure that comes with it. I don't know what the Build-A-Figure is, but there's a digital Build-A-Figure that comes with this wave if you get all 3. Now we could discuss probably for a length of time if this digital thing is a good idea, if it's something you want, if it's something like, I don't even know that it's something I want as a collector. All right, let's go real quick before we go too deep down the digital rabbit hole. We got Mr. Green Lantern, the Silver Age Green Lantern. I will say that comic version is not Silver Age on the back of the box, but it's all right. You do get 2 pairs of hands with him. You get a Green Lantern, which is cool. Because most of my lanterns, I don't think I have a classic Hal Green Lantern. And then the reuse of the punching effects from Parallax, and they've used them on some other people too. That's enough. We need different Green Lantern constructs. I mean, these are supposed to be special versions. Aquaman has his like more yellow trident, an extra head, 2 heads. 2 heads. Two of these figures have 2 heads, and one for some reason doesn't. But that's okay. I'm okay with that. You get an extra pair of hands with Aquaman. You get the little dude. What's his name? I don't even know. It's something. And then with Batman, you get a pair of hands, a batarang, golden batarang. It's not the first golden batarang I have, but it's a golden batarang. And then you get the golden grapple gun. And then you get you get 1 fist and 1 open hand. Oh no, you get a pair of fists. All right. So there's a pair of fists. Every figure should probably have a pair of fists. That's just SOP, right? Green Lantern does. His ring's on the fist hand. It looks good. I'm pumped for this. This is a good wave. I feel good about this. Let's go Aquaman first for unboxing and reviewing. I think he's the one I was least excited about. Although I do love that the really green and orange, like they went all out with the suit. The suit looks like classic. I would probably take and I'll have to see how it looks, but take this head off, put the Wally West maskless Flash head on this body, and you just may have your most classic and good looking Aquaman to date. And it's a piece of Flash and a piece of like the 17th Aquaman they've done. Okay, so going back to this whole digital figure thing. I understand people who don't have space. I have a toy dungeon, right? It's great, but not everyone has a toy dungeon, and I respect that. So digital collecting might be for people without toy dungeons, and there might be people out there who like having not a physical copy. I mean, people buy games all the time, not physical copies, digital copies. So is a toy really that different? I don't know. I mean, if I have a digital toy dungeon, is it the same? No. I can't pose them, can't take pictures of them or play with them, which is like half the fun of this whole thing. But I do see where some people, like, let's say you live in like a big city with really small apartment, then you need a place to store your digital collection. So for that aspect alone, I'm like, all right, I can see it. Now, personally, I was never going to buy like a digital release on the McFarlane toy store. It's just not going to happen. Like, it's just not going to happen, Captain. Like, try explaining that. I'd love to explain that to my wife. Yeah, I bought it, but I spent like $100 on a figure, babe, and it's not real. It's like imaginary, and it lives in my digital collection. I may be looking for an apartment at that point. But when they started adding them with the figures, I was like, okay, that's interesting. That's an interesting way to spin this. And even says, like, even the handy dandy McFarlane standee now has the McFarlane digital stamp on it. And if they could throw that stamp on there, right there, why haven't all of my figures had stamps of like the logo for the figure on there? That is a marginal fee. If you're stamping the DC and black on there, changing it to a larger color symbol for the figures, not crazy, you know. All right, so here we got little guy. I can't remember his name. Somebody help me out here. His arm fell off, so he's armless, which is fine. I mean, he's whatever. He's tiny. He's a little. It's almost like he's an accessory, that's why I'm okay with his arm falling off. His feet are huge. I will just get that out of the way first. Now we got the classic like smiling face for Aquaman. You can't see that. And since I don't have like good photography built into these reviews since they're live, you'll just have to check out the Instagram channel if you want to see good pictures of the stuff on the post, because I'll definitely post them. Definitely post them. So I'll post a picture of this Aquaman's face next to that Power vinyl I got, so you can see how actually close it looks to the vinyl. It's crazy how close it actually looks to that Power vinyl record. Let me prove myself here. You can totally see it, right? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, nailed it. So, I got them from my parents' house, by the way. Like my first exposure to like comics wasn't actually comics. It was 45s that had comics on them. So that Power record, I had a Superman one. There's a Batman one with like Man-Bat in part of it. I'm still looking for that actually at their house. Oh, cool. He's got Aquaman on like the shoulders, the Aquaman symbol on the shoulders. This is such a classic look. I almost wish he's got some good torso. You really get that swimming motion in. And that's what the long hands are for, because apparently swimming, right? Long swimming hands. I like the serious face Aquaman better. His hair looks like it's in the water. So I dig it. I do dig it. I'm not going to lie. I don't know, my opinion changes one way or another with this digital. So you get the digital figure, right? So now I have a digital Aquaman, which I totally wanted, along with my real Aquaman. And then if I put all three together, I get a digital Build-A-Figure. Okay. I didn't even know who that digital Build-A-Figure is yet. I haven't even said. So there's the card right there. Like, it's not bad. The actual card is sweet. Yeah. Real name, Oren Arthur Curry. Founding member of the Justice League. Yeah, he's in my Unite the Seven. Despite being misunderstood by many as someone who's merely talks to fish, Aquaman's super strength and fighting prowess alone make him a force to be reckoned with. His telepathic abilities make him one of the most powerful minds on the planet. If one chooses to underestimate the Sea King, they do so at their own peril. Because Aquaman was like a on-running joke for a while there. And I think they really tried to, I don't know about go out of their way, but they really tried to change that narrative that he's such a joke, which is, I don't know. I don't know if you actually did that, because it's still Aquaman. It's still a dude who talks to fish. I mean, you can say what you want about telepathic abilities, super strength, all that sort of stuff. He's still a dude who swims underwater and talks to fish. I mean, slice that how you want. I don't no Aquaman hate here. I love the King of Atlantis, but I mean, he's still Aquaman. So here we go. Batman's up next here, our Rebirth Batman. And honestly, if somebody knows the count of how many Rebirth Batmans we've got, I would be really thankful if you tell me. Because let's say we got the first one, the original, and then there's the 3-pack. There's a battle damaged one somewhere, I feel like. There's this one. There's the Frostbite one is Rebirth body. God, I know there's some I'm missing here. But yeah, so there's 5 or 6 right there. I don't know where little dude's arm went. I will find it at some point. It's like the Frenzy's gun. If you watch that live stream, that thing, I found it like a week later. I was like, oh yeah, Frenzy's gun's under here. All right, so you get second pair of hands for good old Batsy here. I think they did a decent job with this comic Bruce Wayne face. That was one of the biggest complaints. I mean, and you can say what you want, but McFarlane's been knocking out the complaint department pretty heavy, right? Like no cloth goods. We've gotten a ton of cloth capes now. We've gotten, leather capes. There's wired capes now. It's kind of crazy, right? And then it was, there's no second heads. Well, now we're getting second heads, more accessories, extra hands, a lot more. Yeah, I would say there's been some increase in price, but it's a give or take, right? Would you rather have maybe the less accessories and the lesser price, or would you rather have the accessories and heads and the higher price? I think a lot of people said they'd rather have the latter. And so that's what they did. They went with the, you know, a little bit more accessories, a little more options with heads. The gold batarangs are just funny to me. The batarang scaling in general is funny. And this one's got a really thick lip around it, like a really thick edge. So it makes it look not super great. But that's a minor gripe. I do like the golden grapple gun. Mine's bent up to all get out. I don't know if you can see that thing. No, there's no way you're picking that up on the camera, but not from that distance. But it's bent. Take my word for it. It is askew. Oh, got to cut his legs. Cut his legs free. I forgot about that part. Boom. There we go. All right. Oh, boom. Rebirth Batman number 85. Yeah, he's slick. You know, as much as I've been dogging on how many times they've used this suit, it's a slick suit. It's a good modern Justice League suit. Like, obviously the Hush. Oh, last thing I want to do is snap an ankle, right? I have done that more times. Well, I've done it twice. I did it with Hazmat Batman, the gold label, and I did it with Necron. First thing out of the box, they just ankles just shattered. So I got to be careful with these stands. But I do give this, like I said, I give the suit a lot of crap. But as the modern Justice League look for Batman, I think it's the way to go, right? Like Nightfall and Hush are more classic looks. And Three Jokers, it's funny, Three Jokers was my definitive Batman at one point. Now he's like, I don't even know if he's on my list of top 10 Batmans from McFarlane, to be honest with you. And that's not a knock. I still think that's a good figure. And mine, barring the issue mine had, which was one of the arms wasn't tooled properly, so it doesn't have any mobility on the shoulder. I mean, barring those two things, it still went from, I think, my definitive Batman when it came out to, oh, that's funny. They even have a tie down on the plastic holding the cards in. Ah, yes, gotta stop those scalpers who just want the digital toys. So now I got 2 digital figures, one away from my mystery Build-A-Figure. The Batman card's cool. Again, they're just the back of the boxes. No card holder, no stuff like that. But again, I don't really like the card holders nor need anymore. I have an exuberant amount at this time. I remember when I first had just the one gold card holder from King Shark. That was great. That was a novelty. And as someone who does like YouTube videos and like toy reviews, it was nice to be able to put the card in a stand, take pictures of it, you know, do a video of it or whatever I was doing at the time. But as they've grown as part of my collection, I've become less in love with them and more they're a nuisance that travel around my workbench finding different places to go because I have nowhere to, I don't have anywhere to put them. I don't have anywhere to put them. It's just, yeah, madness, pure madness. So there we go. Batman, pair of fists, grapple gun hand, open hand. He's got that stop hand. The Bruce Wayne haircut and head, I think, are good. The comic head is it's going to work good for Nightfall. It's going to work good for Hush. It's going to work good for any Batman outside of the Rebirth. That's not, like I said earlier, the ones where the head goes into the shoulders. So the neck is part of the head mold. So 3 Jokers and like Batman from the Spawn 2-pack, which is the 3 Jokers body. So essentially it won't work with the 3 Jokers one, but it will work with every other one, every other version, most other versions. Because even the death metal suit, like an early Batman, that one's neck in the peg. So I won't work with that. But like I said, it'll work with a myriad of other ones. All right, last but not least, the figure I think everybody more wanted. If you wanted one figure out of this wave, it was this guy. I think most people will agree. It's our first single pack Green Lantern Hal Jordan. The only other Hal Jordan we have is the 2-pack Hal Jordan, Mr. Super Chin from the Dawnbreaker 2-pack, 2.5, 3 years ago. That was a while. I mean, that was right when I started collecting the figures. So it's a good Hal Jordan. It's not great. It's definitely more of a modern Hal Jordan than it is like this classic, this Silver Age, as they call it. So I like this Hal Jordan. He has definitely got the strongest chin in all of the DC Multiverse figures, but he's a good figure. I think the suit that they used for like him and John Stewart early on was a good suit. It's, more of the modern comic Green Lantern suit, but we all clamored for suit variations. Like, we've gotten how many suit variations for Kyle Rayner, right? Like, there's been 2, 3, at least 3 suit variations for the Kyle Rayner figures, which I can respect, or just the same suit but just painted a bunch of different colors, which again is different variations, especially when you do some like the muted greens and things of that nature. But with Hal we haven't gotten any, and we finally got a new one with Mr. John Stewart. When we got like 3 of those figures, we got a new one with the, what's that wave that's coming out? Oh, the JLA wave. That JLA, you got him in the suit, kind of like this guy, the Silver Age suit, and then you got him with a different symbol. Really, it's like a more wider lantern symbol, which is, some people have said, is like their favorite lantern symbol. I'm not as familiar with that one as I am like this suit and the other suits, so I'm not as jacked, because it's a platinum version of this. I'm pretty sure it's the same suit as on Hal Jordan right here, just with John Stewart, and then the platinum version has that different version of the Green Lantern symbol. So he comes with a pair of fists that he has on, a holding something hand, and then an open hand, which, why? I mean, okay, it's literally the same hands that came with Batman. It's the same open hand. It's the same whatever. Oh, they even got tied on there. I didn't see it. That hidden one on the lantern. My lantern's definitely bent up. I won't lie. It is, I can just pop it out there. It's all kitty wampus. Like, the circle that he holds is all askew. So that thing's going to take a hairdryer to that. But they got these held down. Again, my only real gripe with this figure, because I think he looks great, is these punching effects that came with Parallax, and they've come with a few other people already. I mean, I would have taken anything else. They did the boxing glove already with him, but they could have done a pair of gloves. They could have done, if they would have literally just changed those in a pair of smaller boxing gloves, or like a boxing glove that's like on like a, like it's going out, like a blasting boxing gun, I would have taken that. There's so many variations of lantern tools and weapons that they could have used, and I think would have probably fit better than just another pair of those, light up, or the punching fist from Parallax. Can't remember who else had those as part of their set. But all right, now I've just collected a Build-A-Figure. Check this out. Boom. Oh, not this one. But yeah, check out my Build-A-Figure. It's digital. So I don't know who it is. TBD. Again, I do like that the little handy dandy McFarlane standees say McFarlane Digital on them. I think that's a nice touch, because these are the digital. This is the digital wave. So you get the digital handy dandy McFarlane standees. I would say Aquaman is probably a solid 7, similar to the Catwoman on the Bat Pod. The Rebirth Batman with the Bruce Wayne hat, 7.5. He gets a little tick up because I really like the blue and gray pop of that suit, that classic blue and gray with the extra head. I'm gonna knock it a little bit because the outline of the Batarang and the weakness of this grapple gun's plastic. But outside of that, it's a really, really solid figure. Like, if you were going to buy a first Batman, this would be a solid one to get. And now Green Lantern. What did I miss? Oh, missed his wrist tie downs. Man, they've been no shortage of tie downs in this packaging. They went light for a while there, and now it seems like they've ramped up the tie down amounts again. Bam, got him. Boom, there you go. Silver Age Green Lantern, much sleeker, much thinner, hasn't been hitting the gym as much as his brother from, maybe 15, 20 years down the road. The hairline's a little tighter and it's a little messier. He's got a little bit darker hair. I like this. I really like this. The ring looks good. My ring paint app was solid. The mask is solid. It's, it's a little bit softer edges than the hard edges of the first Green Lantern. This is just a dope Green Lantern. This is probably a 9.5. I mean, honestly, if you would have given me any other accessory than those punching hands, I'd say you're at a solid 10. Like, no joke. This is the one right here, man. This is the guy. If you want, like I said, if you want anybody out of this wave, it's Hal Jordan. That's what everyone's been waiting for. That's the Hal. That's not Chin City here. And like I said, good Hal Jordan. I liked him a lot. It's the only one we've had for 2.5 years. But now that we're getting these Silver Age figures and these new ones, overall, I'd say this first wave of DC digital figures is probably, I like it a little bit more than I thought I was going to. I wish Hal would have had, like I said, you give Hal different accessories and a secondary head, maybe a maskless head. I don't even mind the head sculpt on Aquaman. I think they did a pretty good job here, all things considered. And I think they did a really good job there. As a whole wave, I'd probably give it a nice 8, maybe 8.5. It's solid. These are really definitive versions of this character. The coloration of the suit for Aquaman, the pants and shirt, and Trident are spot on for the classics era. The Rebirth suit, probably the best paint scheme they've had of all the Rebirth suits to date. And you finally have a comic Bruce Wayne head. Accessories are fine. They're not they're not, game changing, but they're fine. The Green Lantern, probably a perfect representation of the classic Green Lantern suit. Amazing head sculpt, good lantern, good extra hands, terrible accessories. So each one has a little bit of knock that brings everything down. I think just a tick there to that 8 level, but 7.5 for the Batman, 7 for Aquaman. And then I'm honestly, I'm sticking at the 9.5 with Hal Jordan there because that's my boy. I mean, my 7, like if you ask me my 7 Justice League, it's obviously Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman, right? Like you gotta have the Trinity there. Then it goes Hal, Barry, Arthur, and Martian Manhunter. That's like my classic Justice League lineup. Say what you want about yours. I see some people throw in a lot of other characters, and that's fine. Everyone's, have their opinion about it, and that's great. But for my money, this is a really solid lineup and a really solid start. I still don't know how I feel about this digital thing. I'm not sold on it. Now, as long as they come as part of my figures that I'm already getting, I guess whatever. I'm not going out of my way to buy digital. Let me know if you feel the same, if you feel any different. Have you picked up this wave? What do you think about it? Do you think my, grades are right on point? You think they need a little higher, a little bit lower? What's your reasoning behind that? I would love to hear all of that. Till the next one, like, share, subscribe, Spring Store, get your merch, not this shirt, but the Baseball Banter shirts I normally wear. Yeah, till the next one. Deuces. Thanks for watching. See you soon. Oh, Catwoman on the Bat Pod is a 7.5. It's a solid figure. I'll be honest. It's solid.